everybody, and welcome to another World of Warcraft live developer Q&A. My name is Josh Allen. I'm slightly too far to the left. What's up? So today we got lots of questions. Of course, Ian has a hostess. Game director, World of Warcraft, is here with us as well today. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, my pleasure. And first and foremost, I mean, new room, new backdrop. You know, people were speculating over the presence of a Jaina book in the background. Well, what could this mean?
Yeah, exactly. What could this possibly mean? It could mean that we're in our new studio, which I have not finished setting up yet.
So, it could mean that.
Visuals TBD. This is still a little bit temporary, but we are in our nice new studio space, which is soundproofed. So hopefully you will no longer hear people opening doors nearby. That'll be fantastic.
It's an exciting world in which we live.
Yes. Hooray for 2017. All right.
Hello, guys.
So
Hello,
we got lots
peeps.
of questions picked out today.
I have been running in the background,
for,
but I want to change
WoW
something.
Today.
I want to change
just because we just don't have answers for.
Let me know if it's too loud.
A lot of questions. Again, appreciate the enthusiasm. Love the discussion. It's a super fun discussion to have. We've all been really enjoying following that discussion unfold. I think, like we said, like
I want to
said
set
at
up something.
BlizzCon,
Just give me a
we're
sec.
at the beginnings of this process. We are building a team to make this happen. We look forward to a awesome discussion, conversation with the community about what Classic means to you.
Classic.
And, you know, as we have answers, we'll be more than happy to share them in a, in a formal way. But I mean, that said, also kind of like Jay said back at BlizzCon, we understand that, when he says that some of you, your favorite flavor is vanilla, we know vanilla means vanilla. We know that it's about community, and that means some of the inconveniences, that means some of the rough edges. That's not something we're looking to move away from. It's more some of the questions like Jay raised. Which version of that experience? Is it the 2005 version? Is it the 2006 version? There were a lot of changes that happened during the Classic timeframe, and there's a lot of fun discussions to have as we figure out what the right experience is. So more to share in the future. Thank you for the passion. Keep the feedback coming. Keep the chat coming.
Yep, absolutely. We do, however, have lots of questions that we'll be answering about patch 735 as well as Battle for Azeroth.
Yep,
which
so all of you who tuned in just to learn about Classic, you can, I just saved you an hour.
You're not supposed to tell viewers to go away. That's not how it... Anyway, all right.
There's going to be awesome World of Warcraft, Legion, and Battle for Azeroth information coming your way.
Yeah.
But no more Classic stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. So let's get into this first question. It comes from Star Swirls, who asked, since tier set bonuses are going away in BFA, does this mean we're still getting 12 unique armor sets per tier, or is it one per class, or is class-based tier art going away entirely?
So I think going away is a strong word. I think we're taking a different approach for Battle for Azeroth. This is driven by a couple of things. First off, the Azerite armor system and the way that's going to interact with the Heart of Azeroth adds a lot of depth and customization to many of the same armor slots we've traditionally used for tier sets. Also, we've looked back and seen the role of tier sets and the place of tier sets change significantly over the years. I mean, way back, speaking of Classic, it was something that, you might spend 4, 5, 6 months cobbling together your full 8-piece set, and many people never assembled it at all because you had to figure out, which of the 3 hunters in your raid was actually going to go.
It's kinda here.
There wasn't enough loot to actually get everyone everything they wanted.
Let me know if it's too loud
Those
or
were
too low.
long-term goals. Nowadays, with multiple difficulties, often we're seeing people getting their tier set bonuses within the first couple of weeks of a new tier, whether they're going to LFR, whether they're going to...
There's a Q&A going on.
Together, then you're kind of locked into those armor pieces. And with more sources of loot and more parallel progression paths... Is the sound fine? Mythic Keystone Weekly Chest, and looked at their character and seen, like, legendary, tier piece, tier piece, tier piece, tier piece, tier piece. These are just dead slots, effectively. There's a whole world of items that are just gone, effectively, for consideration, and that's not a great place to be. So now, actually getting back to the art side of the question, another thing we're really excited about doing here is taking that same amount of art time, the same number of armor sets, and trying to create more variety that's accessible to more players with them. So, for example, in Emerald Nightmare in Legion, a lot of the armor that you saw were recolors or variants of the tier 19 tier set, which you eventually would obtain later on in Nighthold. A lot of those pieces, when you looked at them, felt like they had no connection whatsoever to the Emerald Nightmare. You were going into that zone, you were killing corrupted monstrosities, and the loot that you were getting didn't really have a direct link there. And that's kind of how our raid armor has always worked for years and years and years. We spend all of our artist time making the class sets, and then just sort of use recolors and variants on them to flesh out.
Let me know about it now.
This time around, we want to go really heavy on the thematic origins of this armor. So, you know, when you go into Uldir, all the loot from there is going to be cloth leather mail plate sets that feel like they came from this troll titan corrupted vibe. Something very, very different in a very different direction we've explored in the past. Then if you move on to, you know, when we eventually go to face Queen Ashara, there's this whole sort of high elven, aquatic.
They're talking about the tier removals.
There. And so, in a world with transmog, I mean, we see today lots of people get their tier sets and instantly transmog them to whatever their favorite look is anyway.
It's true,
if you
though.
Want that in the short term, if you want that iconic, you know, paladin look, there are literally, you know, dozens of options out there for you. But for Battle for Azeroth, while the mechanics of the system move away from, you know, assembling tier set bonuses and focus more on customizing your helm and your shoulders and your chest, we'd like to take that opportunity to add a lot more art variety to the world, to have heavily themed.
But I don't do Blixen. I don't do that many Q&A sessions. This is only like the first one I've ever. I did change the sound.
More options than ever before, as opposed to, you know, our 22nd or 23rd take on priest class fantasy.
I don't do that many Q&A things, and this is actually the only one that I'm actually interested in, considering that Tomb of Sargeras is coming out very soon.
Like Naxxramas in particular.
So they might talk about class balance.
Wrath of the Lich King also had sets that were still class focused, but they were kind of.
I really want to check it out as well.
Where you were getting them from?
A little, I think. At times that also muddies the waters a little bit. Like we've always ran into that. Like, how do you make a fell set for a mage that doesn't feel like a warlock set on some level, right? Or like there are blurry lines there. What's the old god themed paladin set? Good luck. And so, you know, I think this isn't a reduction in the amount of art that we're doing. If anything, it's an increase. But I think it's going to lead to a lot more variety that's accessible to a lot more people in the long run. And I think it's almost certain we're going to get back to class-based stuff further on down the line.
Sure.
But for Battle for Azeroth, this, you know, Alliance versus Horde, Kultiran versus Andalari, etc.
How much are they going to talk about that?
To spread out throughout.
How long are these? Like an hour long?
Okay.
These are like 1 hour long, I think, max.
Just another sort of follow-up question on that. Does that mean that it's one appearance per armor type? So like one mail, one leather, one cloth.
Oh
one
yeah.
plate?
Yes, that's the thought for a given zone, but there'll be
two little
more
male
variety
users.
Across different zones. There'll be more of those sets than we've seen in the past, and yeah.
Okay, so just kind of for Battle for Azeroth, instead of doing another like class-based set, we're just doing something that's like let's make it themed about where it's from.
Exactly.
This is let's be realistic. How many times have we done this? This is literally the first time I tried out Q&A thing, just to see how it goes. And plus, I'm actually interested in this one. I'm not gonna do the follow.